you talk about intensive care, you may be talking about a geographical location within a hospital, a certain place where people go when they require treatment for critical illness. But you're, I think, really talking about a specialty, a set of skills, a team of people who have a very specific set of skills that are necessary to deal with critically ill patients.
I think intensive care is really defined by the people within the intensive care unit. And I think we often forget that there are three quite distinct populations of people, all of whom interact in the intensive care setting. And they're obviously the patients who are critically ill, the staff, but also the families and next of kin of the relatives.
I think it definitely has to be patient focused, but also I do think that relatives for patients are extremely important, as this is the time when their relatives are at their sickest, or even family members or friends. And having a little room, at the moment we have, telling them the worst news they're probably ever going to hear, where plastic chairs are and there's no walls and no windows. I think having a proper relatives room, somewhere they can potentially sleep, so they can be near their loved ones as much as possible.
There needs to be space for the relatives, there needs to be quiet space for the relatives, so that they're not all sharing the same room.
It should serve patients, visitors and the staff. It should be you know, multi-purposeful in that everything is under one roof. But actually it gives the privacy, the visibility required to manage these patients and for the families in intensive care.
I would like to see lots of windows and natural light, because I think that in the critical cares we have at the moment, we don't have natural light, and we do have problems with patients initiating a day sleep cycle.
I would like it to have lots of open spaces, to be nice and light and airy, so for patients who are a long time that they can see the seasons changing and, you know, see outside.
It'd be really good to have things like showers in the bed spaces so you can really wash people's hair. There should be a big family room with lots of different things, lots of information and things to do, especially for children.
Should be approachable and comfortable for everyone in terms of physical space, in terms of light.
The design is a novel design which many clinicians have inputted into, including the project lead, Dr. Thomas Best. And it includes an orientation to the building which faces south towards the park, and that the natural light coming from the park and beyond will flood the building from the front. Another unique part of the design is that at the top will be a roof garden capable of level 3 support, including ventilation and monitoring. And we're hoping to be able to routinely care for people right from day zero. But you can see that there will be a clear relationship between the room and the park, which you can see beyond. And the design of the unit is based on the old Victorian ward design, rather than being made up of side rooms in a more traditional new critical care design.
It's quite difficult to manage sick people when you can't see them, and so you need to have a cross between privacy and dignity for the patients, but also safe monitoring and staffing of the unit.
Interestingly, when we've investigated how patients want to lie in the room, they want to both be able to look out of the window, but also to be able to see what's going on within the intensive care unit itself. And the room design will allow 360 orientation of the patient. The patient can be moved freely within the room, and we can move the critical care pendants to the side wall when patients are reaching the rehabilitation stage.
The environment that we could aim for could have a lot of things, you know, additionally, like access to outside space, natural light, colours, limitations on sound, that kind of thing could really help the patients.
I think we want an environment that's highly dynamic and highly flexible, so that we can look after any level of patient within each bed space to avoid unnecessary movement within the intensive care unit, but have spaces that can not only resuscitate but rehabilitate.